All right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Board of Condemnation Light meeting. Today is Monday, September 18th. The time is 2:04. And do I have a motion to open the meeting? I guess we don't really need to. Yep. I'll call to order. So, number 2 on the agenda is approval for the minutes of July 17th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, do we need a second between the two? I will second. Any discussion on the matter? Hearing no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And if we can, due to the public, make a motion we go out of order.
Sure.
To accommodate those on the line.
I'll second that.
All right. Any discussion? Hearing none. All right. Number 1 was Mr. Lito. So good afternoon, sir, if we may.
Good afternoon. Do I have the floor?
Yes, you do, sir.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. My name is Frank Lito. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Goldman, Gruder & Woods out of Norwalk and Trumbull, Connecticut. I represent a gentleman by the name of Ray Wisniewski, who I think is very familiar to your board, relative to 92 Grasmere Avenue and 280 Tuckahoe Lane, 2 properties that Mr. Wisniewski owns, and I understand have been have had repeat appearances on your agendas for some time. And as a result, I understand, again, I'm just going to be upfront and blunt with everybody, understand that Mr. Wisniewski's properties have been, like I said, part of this agenda for some time. I understand there have been prior attorneys who have alleged, and agents who have alleged to represent him in various capacities, and I can tell you that he's new to me in my office, and our intention is to satisfy as quickly this board relative to those 2 blighted properties as quick as possible. I do understand that there are, potentially legal or quasi-legal proceedings underway. I'm not sure if Attorney Baldwin is present at this meeting. If he is or is not, I guess it's not relevant, but I did send an email to him and attempt to initiate communication with his office or with him in his capacity to try to understand where we were at in this process. I think I have a good understanding. I know that the underlying kind of due process relative to these properties has come and gone a long time ago. I know that these properties are being fined on a regular basis, and I know it's in everybody's best interest to get them remediated as quickly as possible. So I'm personally working on just getting a better understanding of where our estimates for completing that remediation would be as to both of them. I understand that. I want you to understand that I know that each of the properties is different in scope relative to remediation, and I think that we understand what needs to be done, and I'm simply participating to let you know that my office is involved, and we intend to and try to work this out swiftly. And when I say swiftly, we'd like to get it done within a matter of weeks, if not a month, if we can just get a better understanding of the nature of the proceedings with the town attorney. And with that, I'm not asking for comment. I just wanted to give you you an understanding of where I fit into the process.
Well, thank you very much. Attorney Baldwin is not present today.
Okay.
So Attorney Lito and I had discussed this last week, and I think you have an understanding where the board is, and that really it's the only issue that the board has authority over right now is to conduct an inspection of when the properties are deemed in compliance. So when you begin that work or feel like you're completed with some aspect of the work, to give us a call and to have us do the inspections. All the other issues, as I had alluded to, are between Mr. Baldwin and yourself representing the client.
Understood, and I appreciated your call. I will confirm that we did speak, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak at this meeting as well.
Quite welcome.
Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
And then
Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller, good afternoon, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you. So just regarding 20 Morehouse, I mean, there's some activity there in terms of, they're continuing the work on the side yard to some small extent. I was contacted by an individual representing an entity saying that they are part of the entity that's foreclosing on the property, and that they are moving forward with that. And so that's the only communications that we've had regarding 20 Morehouse Highway is that there's a foreclosure proceeding underway. But other than that, the property is still not in compliance based upon inspection.
Still being fined today.
Okay, can I comment?
Of course.
I'm not an attorney or anything. I'm just a neighbor. So I drove by it today, and I think in the minutes that I looked at last time, from the July 17th meeting, was no progress has been made. And so what my observance was today was there's a bulldozer and a trailer back in the side yard. Nothing's been done with the stone wall on the front yard, which was kind of just like what this started out to be. But there's just some tools stored in the front yard to make it appear that something's been done. Am I mistaken?
No,
So
there has been done. There has been some work done towards the property, the side of the house, in the storage area, has been cleaned up slightly.
But no significant progress. It looked like there was some newer fencing installed around the side yard, but no progress on the siding on the house by the front door, which I believe is what you're referring to, the stonework, and I would say limited progress on the side yard in terms of, in the overall scope of things, he's been, moving in that direction, but we've already exerted our authority to fine him, and it's up to him to, essentially reach out to us when he feels like he's compliant, to stop the fining. And so that's where we are.
Okay, but what about his personal bulldozer and trailer that's parked on the side yard for the last 2 months? When were you last there, can I ask?
I drove by today.
Did you see it?
I did notice there was extra stuff there. I'm hoping that that's part of what was in the side yard and trying to be moved out. But again, we can talk to zoning and then zoning enforcement officer about inoperative, unregistered vehicles being on the property.
No, they're operative.
Yeah.
It's just his stuff. It's been the same stuff. We can go back 4 years. If Andrea's there, I don't have a database in front of me or anything like that. But it's the same owner with the same bulldozer and the same trailer parked in the same place. And the side yard you're referring to, I believe, is the one behind the fence that nobody can see. The bulldozer and the trailer are parked right on Fairfield Woods Road, in the yard, visibly seen by Morehouse Highway and Fairfield Woods Road.
Okay. I mean, so are you alleging that those are there in violation of some town code or ordinance?
I believe they were commercial vehicles,
Okay.
And I can always come back online and go through my 5 years of notes that I have, that you guys had him remove those vehicles, and it's a bulldozer. It's not they're registered. I'm sure they're registered and insured and all that stuff. He assured you guys that.
So those types of things, we can talk to zoning about that, because those generally fall under zoning in terms of placement of operative registered vehicles on properties is a zoning issue, whether they're allowed there or not. So we can gladly refer that to zoning, the bulldozer and the trailer, and ask them to look into it and see if there's a violation there.
All right. Is there any way that zoning, after 4 years of going back and forth with this blight thing, can contact me to see that it's going forward, or do I have to wait another 60 days?
I don't know about the 60 days, but I can ask them to contact you, or you can call and speak with Matt Decker in zoning directly if you wish to make a complaint directly to him and have him reach back to you. But he's the zoning enforcement officer. So either way, I'm happy to do it for you on your behalf and provide him your contact information.
Yeah, I guess I'm just misunderstanding a little bit. But this has already been an issue in front of your board for 4 years with the bulldozer and stuff. So.
Well, Mr. Miller, I guess we can look into it. I'm not sure, what you're asking me. I think you've asked the question: is this a violation? If they're operative and registered, then it's not a violation of the blight ordinance, which this board oversees. If it's a violation of zoning, we're willing to refer it to zoning. But I don't believe, in the past, I believe our orders related to this were regarding the debris in the side yard, the materials and the stockpiles of debris and items, and the siding of the house. I don't have the whole history in front of me, but we can look into that in terms of inoperative and unregistered vehicles. But typically with that, we refer them to zoning. Zoning is the enforcement entity for inoperative, unregistered vehicles and whether commercial vehicles are allowed in a residential dwelling.
All right, and I apologize. I don't have my folder out. My folder's too thick to even get out of my cabinet. So I thought this would be a simple call. But, all right, thank you very much.
You're quite welcome, sir.
Okay. Is there anyone else on the line? Anyone else on the line? Okay. Going back to normal agenda items, number 3, communication. Any new communications?
Other than what's listed on the agenda?
All right. Number 4 is condemnation old business. We already discussed 92 Grassmere with Attorney Frank Lito on the line. We'll continue. Yep.
I would just add to that for the sake of the minutes. There's been considerable discussion around this about the town working to foreclose on the property and working with community economic development and Habitat for Humanity, trying to come to an understanding of how best to move this property forward quickly. And so Attorney Bolton and I have had several conversations. Attorney Lito and I had a conversation. I've spoken with a realtor representing Mr. Wisniewski, who reported that they will be taking action to clean up the property, which did not happen in any way. And so we continue to hope that this moves forward. But again, we are finding him, and I did have a discussion with Attorney Bolton about the conditions specifically at 92 Grassmere needing to be addressed urgently.
All right. Thank you. No new business under condemnation. Under number 6, blight ordinance, old business. Number 1, 400 Bronson Road.
So the progress there was that the payloader type of vehicle was removed, but the shed remains. We've made several attempts at communication with calls to various numbers. The letters that we send to this owner come back unclaimed. I did have a conversation with zoning, with Matt Decker from zoning. They have another address that we're going to try, an Arizona address for this owner. So we're going to try to reach out through that address and see. But again, I don't know if you feel like, we've notified to the appropriate address if you feel like it's time to move to citation yet.
I do.
Okay.
Only based upon that, we have, I believe, done our due diligence in sending it to the address that we have on file. It's only that one structure. So who moved the machinery?
So Mr. Decker didn't indicate that there was communication with the owner. He did, from my recollection, that conversation was that they sent a letter to that Arizona address after getting unclaimed addresses there to the one that we had on record. They sent an Arizona letter to the Arizona, and then at some time after that, the vehicle was moved. So they have some kind of working address that gets some action, so we're going to try to send to that. But
Okay.
I would be supportive of if you feel like we should move to fines, or if you want to try this new address and see what the response there.
This is a tough one because zoning reached out to the Arizona address with response and action.
With action.
With action.
Yeah.
And, yeah. At the same time, I feel for whomever made the complaint that they have to continuously look at this blighted structure. But I'll retract. I do believe it's time, but you know what? I'd be willing to give it another 30 days with the letter sent to Arizona to see if we can get that taken care of. I know.
Yeah, I mean, I you know.
It's been on a while.
It's been on a while. I feel like, I sort of feel like we should move forward, and they will have the opportunity to appeal that citation, if they so choose, and we can send it to both the address that's on record and to the Arizona address.
It's fair.
And then they have a chance to appeal that and let the hearing officer determine whether they,
It is fair. We sent it to the right address.
Yeah.
With no response.
So I'll make a motion. Yeah, I know you rescinded yours. I'll make a motion to
yeah.
move to citation for 400 Bronson Road.
I will second that.
Okay.
I will second that. Any other discussion on the matter? I don't have any discussion. I think we did the right thing.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, number 92, Grassmere, we discussed already. 301 Katona Drive.
Determination has been sent, based upon our last meeting. I did see some action at the property. I stopped by, there's nobody there, but, you know, some cleaning of the property has happened, so it's forward progress.
Forward progress in action, I like. Okay, number 20, Morehouse, we already just discussed. 57 Rock Ridge Road.
I met with the executor of the state today and the one of the sons of the owner. They were there working on the property. They have removed a couple trailers. They have the three boats and I think another car up for sale online. They have a dumpster there that is mostly full, that they're getting ready to fill and finish and then take away, and one pile of debris has been removed. So it's forward progress. I would say let's give them another month. They continue to work on it.
I would agree with the forward progress. All right, number 6, 222 Stilson.
So we had the communication from the owner of the intent. The property remains largely in the same state. It's secured. The roof was repaired, but it remains largely in the same state, with some boarded up windows and doors and some dilapidation of the roof and garage. The owner indicated that they should have the plans ready to submit to zoning, they think, for the October meeting. And so I would say he's been communicative, he's made repairs. I would give him before moving to citation, to give him the time to submit his application to zoning to get the approval. They don't want to demolish the structure because if the zoning appeal is turned down for what they would like to do, they want to be able to preserve the existing structure and renovate because it's non-compliant right now in terms of setbacks. And so,
Understood.
So they don't want to move to demolish yet. So
Okay.
I would say, you know, he's been communicative. He's moving forward. He's hired an attorney, Fallon, to represent him, to move the action through zoning. So it's progress.
Okay, we'll leave them on.
Okay.
All right, number 280 Tuckahoe Lane. That is similar situation as the 92 Grassmere. As we all heard, we just had communication with Attorney Lido in regards to this. From our standpoint, the property is still being fined, and it's pretty much been turned over again to the town attorney, Attorney Baldwin. But any
Yep.
additional, I think it's still ongoing and in the hands of the town attorney.
Okay.
Number 7, new business and complaints, blight ordinance. Number 1, 561 Center Street. I drove by there and did a little investigation, inspection, if you will. I mean, I didn't see any structures on the property. All I saw was...
It's a vacant lot.
It's a vacant lot with some growth.
Overgrowth and some, I would say, some evidence of people placing landscaping debris in one little section. But, you know, it is the owner resides next door, and so it could be well within their rights to place on their property, you know, their landscaping things and things like that.
Right.
But I did not see any garbage or other debris.
I have right in my notes, I did not see garbage either.
And the issue of the, is it the lantern fly? There was some assertion of lantern flies in the wood there. That's been being looked at by the tree warden and the conservation director in conjunction with the town attorney in terms of what right do we have to, if we have the right to go onto that property and address that. So they're handling that aspect of it. And the attorney Baldwin said, you know, we're on that part of it. But in terms of as far as blight goes, there is no structure there. There's no debris, no garbage, no excessive amounts of trash on the property. So I do not feel it meets the criteria for
I agree with you.
blight.
So, do we need a motion to take it off, or we just don't put it on?
No, it just doesn't go
put it on.
They don't proceed to a hearing.
Right. Okay. Number 2, 55 Lisbon Drive. I personally did not go out to inspect this parcel, only because as pretty much our bylaws state that the complaint has to actually have a complainant on it, and I didn't see a signature or a name attached, so I just kind of...
Yep. And yeah, I noticed that, and it can't be considered a blight complaint because it's not, the blight ordinance does not allow for anonymous complaints. But I would amend the minutes to note that it's a complaint against 2 properties, 55 and 87. We're on the same street, about a house apart. But I did drive by and do not feel it rises to the level of blight in terms of the structure or what I saw around the property. I would suggest we refer the inoperative unregistered vehicle aspect of the complaint to Matt Decker. But that, other than that, it did not rise to the level of being considered blight.
Okay. I agree. I mean, I agree based upon, as I mentioned. So I believe we should be taking this off as well. Number 3, 1964 North Benson Road. I have seen this. I do believe that it fits the definition of blight.
I agree.
I also believe that our history with the building officials and this property, I believe, was being worked on without building permits. I believe the building department had ceased or provided a stop work order.
Yep.
And from what I understand, the building hasn't changed since. So with no siding and just the building being wrapped, I believe it does meet the definition of blight.
Yep.
So.
Is that a motion?
Motion.
Motion to, that 1964 meets the criteria for blight. And that will send a hearing notice.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor?
Okay.
All in favor, right?
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye. All right.
Number.
So we'll send them a notice.
Okay.
And I did speak with Carolyn in the building department. Pat is out today, just to see if there's been any recent activity. She was not aware of anything. There's nothing in municity in terms of recent permits or anything like that. So I think that meets the criteria. Just move forward with that one.
All right. Number 4, number 42 Robbins Circle. I drove by there today. I tried looking around the property. As we know, the weather wasn't really all that great, but I did get out there and try and look.
Yep, myself.
The front of the building, you know, it's got some overgrowth. It's got some growth on the in the gutters and on the rooftop. I did not get to the backyard where, I know the complaint mentioned that there might have been a 3 or 4 seasoned, porch that potentially has collapsed.
Yeah,
So-
the owner, the neighbor came out
Mhm.
when I was there, who made the complaint, and, I asked him about it, and he said, well, it's not collapsed, it's just, he said it's kind of pushing down on it, and so I said, and as well, I couldn't get around the back without a certain amount of risk. Given my knee and the weather, I didn't want to push it, and that there's, that you would literally have to like almost crawl to get through the bushes. I did go in, he did take me into his yard, to see, but even he said, we can't see what I was talking about. And so I figure we should send a letter to the owner, making him aware that there's been a blight complaint, and that we'd like to conduct an inspection, but we need the property to be cleaned up to fully conduct the inspection.
The owner is not the same as the occupant.
That's correct.
I did learn that.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that's what the neighbor said, and he felt like some communication with the family regarding the blight complaint would probably help resolve some of the issues there.
Okay.
So we'll
Alright.
send a letter about, that there's been a notice of complaint on this one, and so we can do the full inspection.
All right. Number 5, address 226 Ruane Street. I being somewhat familiar with this property, I think it was, I don't know, a year maybe, if not more, there was a fire, relatively significant fire at that location. I know it sat for a while, but within the last month or two, I have seen workers on site, contractors working.
Yep.
I know the property owners have changed, so I think with the amount of construction taking place, I believe the forward progress is there.
Yeah.
I don't believe that it's technically blight.
No, and as Pat had mentioned, I don't know if you were here at the last meeting, maybe not, in the July one. I think so. He mentioned, they had pulled all the appropriate permits, and they are ramping up to do the work. And they've done the foundation in the back, they've done the structure in the back, they've, put up fencing around the property to prevent any access or egress. And so, I think it's, now an active construction site, and doesn't necessarily.
I think the delay might have been, we've seen projects moving forward and then they stop, but it's a forward-moving project. I don't really think it's...
looks like an active construction site, so I think at this point we can remove it from the agenda.
226, all right.
They've got a permit, they're working regularly. There's been progress since the last meeting, of substantial progress, from holes where there's foundation holes to now there's a 2-story structure that's framed.
Yes, sir. All right. Number 6, 321 Shady Hill Road. I didn't see anything.
No, I think, it alleges some couch and some debris in the street. I didn't see anything. I sort of drove around a couple times looking for
same here.
something there, so I didn't see anything.
It was a circle, and I drove around a couple times looking.
My guess is that they cleaned it up.
Okay. We'll remove 321 Shady Hill, and then 798 Sturgis Road.
Yeah, so I think we have to talk to zoning on that one in terms of what's the zoning of that property, because there are several vehicles there, and see what kind of history they have there, and potentially just send a notice of complaint there from our perspective, and conduct an inspection, and then determine if we need to have a hearing there. But
machinery, trucks.
There's machinery, there's trucks, and all, depending on its zoning status, what is it zoned as? Is that allowable? So I think we'll have a talk with Matt Decker to see if that's.
So do we add it to old business with the note saying we referred it to zoning, or should we just leave it where it is, refer to zoning?
Well, I think we should refer it to zoning and leave it on the agenda.
Okay.
Like that it would become old business since it's been on the agenda already, we just haven't had the hearing yet. Because zoning might say, no, it's technically zoned as a commercial property, because it looks like it has some commercial aspect to it. So if they say it's owned and that's allowed, then
Across the street, down the street, that's all.
There's commercial properties up and down there, so.
Okay. Well, that summarizes blight ordinance new business, unless you have something else for us.
And nothing?
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It is now
Adrian,
2:34.
To stop the recording?
You just hang up.